Welcome everyone, I hope you're having a very wonderful day, and welcome to my guide for pheasants for Salzwiesen. Before we begin, I want to quickly break down how today's guide is going to work. So our first section will be generally talking about the pheasant locations and where not to look for them, because it's easier to explain that than trying to explain where they reside across this entire map. And then we're going to move on to weapon recommendations, where I'm going to recommend 3 of my favorite weapons to hunt these guys with. And then we'll end today's video with the animal profile, which will have a custom map, ammo chart, and time zones there for your hunting life to make it 10 times easier. I'll also be explaining a little bit more about the hot zones there, because it's easier to explain it when everything's marked up than trying to explain it through the Call of the Wild map that we have in game. So let's get right into it. Now, I recommend hunting these guys at a feeding time. I hunt them particularly between the 8 to 11 mark or 14 to 18 time zone. When you're out there looking for these pheasants, they're going to be in open areas. They won't be in trees or anything like that when they're feeding. They will be doing that when they're resting though. So just keep that in mind when you're out there looking. Always be mindful of looking for open terrain, because that's where they're going to be when it comes to feeding time. And that pretty much covers it for all the need-to-know information. This is going to be a rather short section of the map, and we do have a prime example in front of us. We do have a feed zone where these guys were eaten. The time zone just ended, so they're already moving. But you're going to just want to come out in these fields, take a quick look around, and you're going to have all sorts of fields across this map, which you guys will see at the end of today's video. I'll have all this stuff marked in red, where there's big open fields and these guys like to eat. So let's keep moving. I'm going to head back to the weapon locker and do 3 shotguns that I will be recommending for these pheasant hunts. Alrighty folks, so here we are back at the outpost. Now before we begin, I want to mention quickly 2 things. First things first is that these are just my personal recommendations. I always say go out there and explore, see what suits you. There's obviously more alternative options, but I just want to recommend 3 of my favorite things I like to use in case you guys are interested in picking them up for yourself. So the second thing is I'll be mentioning all the DLC these weapons come from, in case you just want to go onto the Steam store or the Xbox App Store or whatever it is and pick up the DLC for yourself. So let's get right into it with our first shotgun of the day. The Norden 20 gauge is one of my favorite bird hunting shotguns in this game. You have 3 rounds in it. It's semi-automatic. It's pretty solid, to be quite honest with you, and it comes in a very important DLC that you'll definitely need for this pack, the duck and cover pack. It's very important if you want to hunt those ducks out there all across this map, as there's plenty of bird species. There's 10 bird species, and quite a few of those are waterfowl. Moving on to our second shotgun of the day, here we have the Strandberg 10 gauge. Now this is the bang for your buck. You're going to have 4 rounds in there, and it's the highest capacity semi-auto shotgun in this game, so I recommend picking it up. I love this thing to death. It's just a very solid weapon. You can find it in the high caliber weapon pack DLC. Moving on. The third and final shotgun is kind of funny. The Streckler 20 gauge, the double barrel shotgun side by side. To me, this is just an iconic shotgun. I do know that people love the over and unders, but I love the side by side more. It just has a good Western feel for it, and I love hunting these guys with this shotgun in particular. And you could find this bad boy in the Wild Goose Chase pack, which I highly recommend picking up for this map as well. And I'll pretty much do it for the weapon recommendations. I will see you guys over at the animal profile. And here we are, folks, at the end of today's video. Before I let you guys go, I'm going to do a quick animal profile breakdown. Starting on the left-hand side, we have all of our basic ring-necked pheasant information. We have the class, difficulty, silver, gold, and diamond threshold range. We have the weight from least to greatest in kilograms and pounds. We do not have access to the fabled version yet, so when I get that information, I'll eventually put it in there. And then below, we have all of her fur types covering common and very rare, and all the great ones fur types have been added, or feather types is what I should say. Moving on to the center map here, I have all of the good locations marked in red there, all the big open locations. Now, I do recommend exploring these 2 down here in the bottom. It was kind of shocking because I expected a lot more to be in this top right open field section, but I had quite a few pheasant zones at the bottom middle section of this map where my mouse is. And then along this coastline here is crazy popular for black grouse and pheasants. I was just flabbergasted of how many bird zones were there for me. And also, I do have other hotspots marked in yellow. I was trying to look for more, but I can only find 2 that were kind of mediocre. They might be better for you guys on your map, but this is just how the spawns were for me. So I highly recommend checking out all these zones. All of it is open field, and I recommend checking the zone times between 8 to 11 and 14 to 18, because that's when I had the best luck for mine for that feeding time. And then below we have the times. Below the time zones, we do have an ammo chart, which just covers everything you need for those full integrity kills. And that pretty much does it for today's guide video. This is probably the shortest guide video I've done, but I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this guide helps you out on your hunting journey. And with all the way, folks, I hope you guys have a very wonderful day. Happy hunting, good luck, and I will see you guys in the next one.